Hey everyone, I'm Luna Mitchell, a 28-year-old software developer, and my story starts with the two people who shaped my life the most. My incredible grandmother Eleanor, who raised me after I lost my parents in a car crash when I was 12, and Henry Cooper, my ex-fiancé, though we'll get to that part. One evening, as Grandma Eleanor adjusted family photos on the fireplace mantel of her sprawling mansion, she turned to me with a warm smile. "These coding contracts you're landing are impressive, sweetie, but I'm so happy you finally found someone worthy of you." I looked down at my engagement ring, smiling. "Henry is different, Grandma. He actually understands me. His real estate business is taking off, and he gets my tech talk." But not everyone was so convinced. Over coffee, my best friend Lisa gave me a look. "I don't know, Luna. Something about Henry seems off. It's like he talks about all these big deals but never really shows proof." I brushed it off with a laugh. "Not everyone needs to post their wins on LinkedIn, Lisa. He's just private about business." Then there was Rachel, Henry's sister, who hovered around like a new best friend. "Luna, darling, have you chosen the venue yet? Henry is just so excited for this wedding. Oh, and you may want to consider a prenup with Eleanor's fortune and all." I remember snapping back, "That's none of your business, Rachel." One evening, Grandma Eleanor surprised me with an unexpected announcement. "Luna dear, I want you to have early access to part of your inheritance. Let's make this wedding everything you've dreamed of." Henry's eyes lit up when I told him the news. Meanwhile, Marcus, Henry's best friend, was always around, a cheerful presence during our wedding planning. "Henry can't stop talking about you, Luna. I've never seen him so invested in a relationship." Yet Rachel's husband David was quiet, always watching, especially when Henry and Rachel had their whispered conversations. Once he muttered to me, "You're good for this family," with a look I couldn't quite interpret. Wedding planning consumed 6 months of my life. Henry convinced me to open a joint account for wedding expenses. "Practice for our future," he called it. I was so in love that I agreed to everything. 300 guests. I asked, seeing the guest list he prepared. "Eleanor's connections will be great for my business," he said with a grin. "This isn't about business, Henry. It's about us," I reminded him. "Of course, babe," he said, kissing my forehead. But his eyes flicked to the inheritance papers on my desk. Grandma Eleanor was thrilled, helping with every detail. "You'll be the most beautiful bride, sweetheart. I can finally rest easy, knowing you'll be taken care of." I just smiled, hanging up my wedding dress, ready for the biggest day of my life. If only I'd known what was coming. On the day of the wedding, I stood in the bridal suite, my hands shaking as I checked my phone for the 100th time. 300 guests waited, but Henry wasn't answering. "He's probably just stuck in traffic," Lisa said, though I could hear the tremble in her voice. Minutes turned to hours as the whispers outside grew louder. Then Marcus burst into the room, his face ashen. "Luna, I'm so sorry." "Henry, he's gone. He left with Emma, Rachel's friend from the yoga studio." The room started spinning. "What do you mean gone?" I whispered, feeling the words hit me like a punch. "They took a flight to Cancun this morning. Rachel knew. She's been helping them plan it." The world blurred around me. I barely registered the guests drifting away with pitying looks or Lisa holding me as I broke down. Then a scream echoed from the reception hall. "Call an ambulance. Eleanor's collapsed." The hospital waiting room was a haze of fluorescent lights and beeping machines. A doctor finally approached me with a grave expression. "Miss Mitchell, your grandmother suffered a major heart attack. The stress triggered an underlying condition." I sat by Grandma Eleanor's hospital bed, clutching her frail hand. "The joint account," I whispered. "It's empty. Henry took everything. Everything we saved for the wedding." Eleanor's voice was faint but fierce. "Get my lawyer now." The lawyer arrived, and Eleanor's hands shook as she signed. "I'm changing everything, making it ironclad. He won't get a penny." David, Rachel's husband, visited me that evening, delivering the final blow. "Luna, Henry's real estate empire is all fake. He's never closed a single deal. The office he showed you, rented for show. The cars, leased under fake names." "How long have you known?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "Too long," he admitted. "Rachel's been covering for him, helping him scam people. I've been gathering evidence for weeks." I watched Grandma Eleanor fade, her last words haunting me. "Don't let them win, sweetheart. Show them what a Mitchell is made of." The day she passed, a package arrived, a final gift from her. Inside, I found proof of everything. Henry's debts, his fake business documents, emails between him and Rachel planning the entire scheme, and the deed to the mansion along with documents for my inheritance, $5 million and 3 properties. David had found it all in Rachel's office. "It's time everyone knew the truth," he said quietly. That night, I sat alone in my apartment, surrounded by wedding gifts I'd have to return. As I read through the lawyer's documents, I realized how far Grandma Eleanor had gone to protect me, even after her death. Lisa visited, and as she watched me reviewing the evidence, she asked, "What are you going to do?" I looked at the mountain of lies David had uncovered, feeling my resolve sharpen. "I'm going to make sure they never do this to anyone else." A year later, my life looked different. My tech startup had taken off, and I gained 30 pounds of self-worth. Henry showed up at my office one day, uninvited, looking worn. "Luna, I made a mistake," he stammered. "Emma, she wasn't you. She left me after spending all your money." "There it is," I said, rising and smoothing my designer suit. I gestured to security, but Henry wasn't done. Rachel started lurking too, popping up like a concerned friend. "Luna, sweetie, Henry's changed. And let's be honest, that inheritance should be shared. You two were practically married." Then came the lawsuit. Henry claimed common law partnership rights, saying we'd shared finances and lived as a couple. My phone buzzed one morning as Lisa burst into my office. "Mrs. Henderson called. Rachel's telling everyone at the country club that you manipulated Eleanor into changing her will on her deathbed." And then Marcus appeared at my door, guilt etched on his face. "Luna, I can't keep quiet anymore. I overheard Henry and Rachel the night before the wedding. It was all planned. You weren't the first. 3 other engagements in different states, all broken off after he drained his fiancé's wealthy families." I was stunned, but then my phone rang. It was David. "Luna, meet me at the diner on 5th. Bring your phone." At the diner, David slid a USB drive across the table. I planted a recorder in Rachel's study. "Listen." I slipped in my earbuds and Henry's voice crackled through. "Once we file the lawsuit, she'll settle. No one wants their family's dirty laundry aired in court." Then Rachel's voice. "The rumors about Eleanor are working. People are already questioning Luna's character." Henry chuckled. "With my charm and your connections, the judge will see we were practically married. Those fake documents you made about us living together. Perfect forgeries. Luna won't know what hit her." My knuckles turned white as I gripped the table. "David, why are you helping me?" "Because Rachel and Henry have destroyed too many families. I'm tired of watching them hurt people. They're meeting again tomorrow. I'll have everything ready." I glanced at the USB drive, remembering Eleanor's last words. "Let's end this," I said. "Once and for all." In court, my lawyer stood. "Your Honor, before we proceed with Mr. Cooper's lawsuit, I'd like to submit new evidence." He held up David's recordings. Henry's face went pale as his lawyer sputtered. "What evidence?" The recordings played, filling the courtroom with Henry and Rachel's voices, detailing their scheme in their own words. But that was just the beginning. "The FBI would like to speak with you, Miss Mitchell," a stern-faced agent said as he appeared in my office. "We've been tracking a pattern of marriage fraud across state lines." Hours later, I sat in a federal building surrounded by photos of Henry's previous targets, 3 broken engagements, each involving wealthy families. Every time he used the same playbook, Agent Torres explained. Shortly afterward, Rachel's real estate office was raided. Turns out she hadn't just helped Henry. She'd been laundering money through fake property deals for years. 15 years, Lisa whispered during Henry's sentencing. He was handed a sentence of federal prison, while Rachel sobbed as her real estate license was revoked. "Please, I have mortgage payments," she cried. I just smiled, waving the foreclosure papers for her dream house. I'd bought it at auction. When the story broke, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. "Miss Mitchell, we're very impressed with your startup's potential." A venture capitalist's voice buzzed over the speaker. "Would you be interested in discussing a Series A investment?" David filed for divorce, turning state's evidence against Rachel, while Marcus helped identify other victims. The support group we started grew bigger each week. Lisa tossed me a letter one day, Henry's handwriting clear on the envelope, stamped from prison. I dropped it unopened into the shredder. Then I opened my laptop, clicked Send Donation, and transferred another $100,000 to the fraud victims support fund we'd established. The view from Rachel's former dream house was spectacular. I turned it into a shelter for women escaping financial abuse. Grandma Eleanor would have loved that. To new beginnings, I said, raising my glass with Lisa, David, and Marcus on the shelter's opening day. Somewhere in a federal prison, Henry was beginning year one of his 15-year sentence. Rachel was living in a studio apartment, drowning in legal fees. And me? I was just getting started. My company's IPO was next week. So what would you do if you discovered your ex kept evidence of their previous scams? Would you turn them in immediately, use it as leverage, or wait and plan like I did? The hardest part wasn't the wedding day betrayal. It was realizing that my grandmother saw through Henry's lies before she died and changed her will to protect me one last time. Sometimes love means making tough choices to protect the people we care about. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your experiences dealing with manipulative exes and how you got your power back. Remember, success is the best revenge, but justice is pretty sweet too. If this story resonated with you, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of overcoming toxic relationships and coming out stronger. New stories drop every week about survival, revenge, and karma finally catching up to those who deserve it.